What if I told you that a single man, dressed in a black suit and tie, once walked onto a plane, hijacked it in broad daylight, and then vanished, leaving behind the only unsolved skyjacking in history? November 24th, 1971. The world would soon know the name D.B. Cooper, a name that would become legend. But who was he? And how did he pull off the most audacious disappearing act of the 20th century? It's the afternoon before Thanksgiving. Portland International Airport is crowded with holiday travelers. Among them, a man in his mid-40s wearing a business suit, black raincoat, and dark sunglasses quietly purchases a one-way ticket to Seattle. He signs the name Dan Cooper. No ID required, no questions asked. He pays $20 cash and boards the Northwest Orient Flight 305, a Boeing 727. He chooses seat 18C near the rear. He's polite, almost invisible. He orders a bourbon and soda, lights a cigarette, and waits. Minutes after takeoff, he hands a folded note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. At first, she thinks it's just another man's phone number, but Cooper leans in, voice low and calm. "Miss, you'd better read that. I have a bomb." The note is simple and chilling. Cooper wants $200,000 in cash, worth over $1.5 million today. He demands 4 parachutes, a fuel truck waiting in Seattle, and a new flight plan to Mexico City. His instructions are precise. Land in Seattle, release the passengers, keep the crew, and no tricks, or he'll do the job. The pilots quietly relay the message to air traffic control. FBI agents and police scramble. The airline's president authorizes the ransom. As the plane circles Seattle for nearly 2 hours, the passengers are told it's a minor mechanical issue. On the ground, agents gather the money, 10,000 unmarked $20 bills, each with a recorded serial number, and 4 parachutes, 2 from a local skydiving school, 2 from the military. At 5:39 p.m., Flight 305 lands in Seattle. The airport is surrounded by police and FBI. Cooper sits calmly, sunglasses never leaving his face. He instructs the crew to dim the cabin lights and close the window shades, so snipers can't get a clear shot. A flight attendant brings him the ransom and parachutes. He checks the money, quick, methodical, almost professional. Then, true to his word, Cooper releases the 36 passengers and 2 flight attendants. Only the pilot's flight engineer and 1 attendant remain. He keeps his composure, no panic, no violence, just business. With his demands met, Cooper gives new instructions. Fly south toward Mexico City. Keep the plane low, under 10,000 feet. Lower the landing gear. Maintain a slow speed, just 200 knots. He wants the rear staircase left unlocked, a unique feature of the Boeing 727. At 7:40 p.m., the plane takes off again, shadowed by 2 Air Force jets. The cabin is tense, the crew on edge. Cooper sits at the back, tying something around his waist. He's preparing for something no one expects. Shortly after 8 p.m., over the dense forests of southwestern Washington, Cooper orders the last flight attendant to the cockpit. She's the last person to see him alive. A warning light blinks in the cockpit. The rear stairs are down. At 8:13 p.m., the plane's tail suddenly lifts. The crew feels a rush of cold air. D.B. Cooper, wearing a business suit, tie, and sunglasses, steps into the stormy, freezing night, $200,000 strapped to his body, and leaps into darkness. He is never seen again. When the plane lands in Reno, Nevada, the rear stairs are still open. FBI agents storm the jet, but Cooper is gone. All that's left, a black clip-on tie, 8 cigarette butts, and 2 parachutes. One missing cords, the other a dummy reserve. The largest manhunt in U.S. history begins. FBI, state police, helicopters, and bloodhounds comb the forests of Washington and Oregon. The terrain is brutal. Freezing rain, thick woods, and rushing rivers. But no trace of Cooper. No parachute, no body, nothing. For nearly a decade, the trail is cold. Then, in 1980, a young boy digging along the Columbia River finds 3 bundles of decaying $20 bills, $5,800 in total. The serial numbers match the ransom money given to Cooper. But the bills are weathered, buried in sand. There's no sign of Cooper, alive or dead. Did he survive and lose the money? Did the river carry it downstream? The mystery only deepens. Who was D.B. Cooper? Some say he was ex-military, a paratrooper or pilot. He knew the 727's rear stair feature called McCord Air Force Base by name and seemed unfazed by the plan. But others point out his mistakes. He wore loafers, chose a dangerous jump zone, and took a dummy reserve parachute. Was it an inside job? Cooper's knowledge of flight procedures was uncanny, but hundreds of airline employees and military personnel were investigated. None matched the description. Was he a criminal mastermind or a desperate man? Over 800 suspects were questioned. Some, like Richard Floyd McCoy, even copied the crime, but none fit the evidence. And the name D.B. Cooper? It was a media mix-up. The hijacker called himself Dan Cooper. But a reporter's error turned D.B. Cooper into legend. The FBI's investigation, codenamed Norjack, spanned 45 years. They analyzed fingerprints, DNA from Cooper's tie, and every lead imaginable. They even tracked the ransom bills for decades. None ever surfaced in circulation. The case changed air travel forever. Airlines installed Cooper vanes to prevent rear stair jumps. Security screenings became standard, and yet the man himself remained a ghost. In 2016, the FBI finally closed the case. No arrests, no clear identity, just a legend. D.B. Cooper didn't just hijack a plane, he hijacked America's imagination. He inspired movies, books, songs, and an entire subculture of amateur sleuths. Every year, new theories surface. Was he a Vietnam vet? A rogue airline worker? Did he die in the woods or escape with a new life and a new name? The ransom bill's serial numbers are still flagged by banks and collectors. A Cooper bill is the ultimate true crime artifact. And every November in the Pacific Northwest, people gather to celebrate the legend. The only thing more enduring than the mystery is the hope that one day someone will find the answer. D.B. Cooper didn't just vanish into thin air, he became a symbol. A man with no name, no past, and no ending. A mystery that may never be solved. Do you think D.B. Cooper survived? Comment below. Subscribe for more unsolved stories.